The atmosphere inside the stadium was electric when the Detroit Lions faced off against the Atlanta Falcons in their preseason game. Fans were cheering, the energy was high, and every snap carried that early season intensity where players are fighting not only for a win, but for their place on the roster. But all of that came to a sudden and chilling halt in the fourth quarter. Linebacker Morice Norris, a young and promising player for the Lions, collided violently with an opposing player in a way that made everyone watching instantly realize something was wrong. He stayed motionless on the field, lying on his back, as his teammates and the medical staff rushed toward him. The stadium went silent, a kind of silence that only comes when thousands of people are holding their breath at once. Moments later, Norris was carefully placed on a stretcher, stabilized for a suspected head and neck injury, and taken off the field. Updates from the team confirmed that he had regained consciousness, but would undergo further testing. It was a terrifying reminder of the fragility of an NFL career and the risks that players take every time they suit up. For many fans, this was the first time they had heard the name Morice Norris, but for those who have followed his path, the injury was a heartbreaking twist in a story built on determination, resilience, and a relentless drive to succeed. Norris's journey to the NFL didn't begin with privilege or shortcuts. It was carved out through years of hard work, sacrifice, and a belief that even against long odds, dreams can be achieved. Born in a working-class neighborhood, Norris grew up surrounded by people who understood struggle. His parents instilled in him the values of discipline and persistence. From a young age, he gravitated towards sports, and football quickly became his passion. Playing in local youth leagues, he stood out for his natural speed, agility, and instinct for reading plays before they happen. In high school, Norris developed into a star. He wasn't just another talented kid on the team. He was the type of player coaches could count on to change the momentum of a game. His work ethic was unmatched. While others might go home after practice, Norris stayed on the field, running extra drills, working on his footwork, and studying film of both himself and NFL greats. That dedication paid off when college scouts began to take notice. Offers started to come in, but Norris wasn't satisfied with just getting on a roster. He wanted to be the best version of himself every single day, and he approached his college career with the same intensity he had in high school. College football was an entirely different challenge. The speed of the game was faster, the competition was fiercer, and every position was filled with athletes who had been the best in their hometowns. But Norris didn't shy away from it. He embraced it. He became known not just for his physical abilities, but for his leadership on and off the field. Coaches valued his ability to rally teammates during tough moments, and he earned respect for his willingness to do whatever was needed for the team. Whether it was special teams coverage, linebacker rotations, or film study sessions that stretched late into the night, Norris brought a level of professionalism beyond his years. The transition to the NFL, however, is a mountain that many talented college players never climb. Draft day came and went without Norris hearing his name called, but he wasn't deterred. Like so many undrafted players who eventually carve out a place in the league, he knew his chance would come, and when it did, he had to be ready. He spent the offseason training relentlessly, focusing on strength, speed, and mental preparation. When the Detroit Lions brought him into training camp, Norris treated every rep like it could be his last. Coaches quickly noticed his hustle, his adaptability, and his eagerness to learn. Making the 53-man roster in the NFL is no easy feat, especially for undrafted or lower-profile players. But Norris's persistence earned him his shot. Once he was in, he made it clear he belonged. He played with an edge, flying to the ball, contributing on special teams, and proving to be a reliable depth piece at linebacker. While he wasn't yet a household name, Lions fans began to recognize his number and appreciate the energy he brought to every snap. Off the field, Norris showed a side of himself that endeared him even more to fans. He regularly participated in youth football camps, visiting schools and community centers to talk about the importance of education, discipline, and chasing one's dreams. He often credited his own mentors for shaping him and made it a priority to pay that forward. Those who met him in person often remarked on how grounded and approachable he was, despite living a life that many young athletes only dream of. But in the NFL, the margin between playing at full strength and facing a career-altering injury is razor thin. The head and neck injury Norris sustained against the Falcons was a stark example of the risks involved in professional football. The speed, force, and collisions at the pro level are unlike anything in other sports, and even the most prepared athletes can be caught in a moment that changes everything. The Lions organization, his teammates, and fans across the league rallied behind him with messages of encouragement, emphasizing that his health was the top priority. Medical professionals have indicated that recovery from such an injury requires patience, careful rehabilitation, and an honest assessment of long-term risks. For Norris, who has spent his life building toward this career, that reality is both challenging and deeply emotional. But those who know him believe that his resilience, the same quality that took him from a kid with a dream to an NFL player, will guide him through whatever comes next. Whether Norris returns to the field this season or takes a longer road to recovery, his journey is already an inspiring story of hard work and perseverance. From neighborhood fields to the bright lights of the NFL, he has demonstrated that success is not simply about talent, but about grit, determination, and the refusal to quit. If and when he comes back, fans can be sure that Morice Norris will bring the same relentless energy and heart that got him to the league in the first place. And if his playing days end sooner than expected, his legacy will still be one of a fighter who gave everything to the game he loved. In professional sports, moments like the one in that preseason game are a sobering reminder that behind every helmet is a human being with a story of sacrifice, ambition, and passion. For Morice Norris, this chapter may be marked by adversity, but it will also be remembered as a moment when the world stopped to recognize not just the athlete, but the man and the incredible journey that brought him here.